There's been so much discussion about Battlefront recently, and I just gotta talk about the entire franchise and the future of the franchise. Because back in the old days where you played Battlefront 1 and 2 and 3 with your buddies in the couch co-op style gameplay, I also just remembering owning an Xbox 360, which was probably one of my favorite times and eras of video game playing, and you had backwards compatibility. And what that means is you have a current generation console that is able to play old generation consoles. And I feel like that's an ability we don't really get to see so often these days. And the most amazing thing was that you could go on and use these games and play online. Play online with people that were next door, friends if you had them after school, or people that you would never engage with that lived across the country or even across the globe. It was so cool to find so many players that loved Mace Windu or Anakin Skywalker or the same map that you were playing on. Hell, even the same movies. I will never forget that generation of gaming. Fast forward many years, you have now Battlefront 2015 and Battlefront 2. EA has taken the reins and they're only allowed to make Star Wars games at that point. And then they decide to create a card system in the game, which was kind of anti-Battlefront. Battlefront always brought in this class system, class-based, you know, like I had a boy that was gonna be a healer or a sniper or an engineer. All of these things were quintessential to Battlefront. We were all so excited at that E3 when the Battlefront teaser trailer came out. Everyone was so excited, but EA was attached to it. We were really worried, and you know, for good reason. And it came out, and it was pretty good, but there wasn't really a lot in it. And I think I remember the game having quite a bit of weapons, and I think Rogue One had come out that time, so the game was filling out okay. It was a bit sparse, there wasn't a lot, but it was okay. But the game looked beautiful. But the real controversy came when it decided to install the second IP, which was Battlefront 2. And there is not a long enough video I can make about all the controversies when that game was launched. Battlefront 2 has loot crates. Battlefront 2 has gambling. I mean, this game was the game that literally was crucified because of loot crates. It influenced the entire world to re-strategize how gambling inside gaming was going to happen. And of course, it's still going on today. I mean, I used to play FIFA and get addicted to that Ultimate Team stuff, but loot crates was crazy. I mean, now a lot of games don't even have them anymore because of the controversy of Battlefront 2, and that game was launched. And everything that was going on with that controversy, I mean, there is so much bad media for that thing, and it was just absolutely driven into the ground. How terrible this game had taken an aspect and it would be pay to win. And it wasn't just for like regular stuff, it was also for the stars, like your heroes, Kylo Ren, Darth Vader, all these characters needed power-ups and boosts. I just remember trying to get into this game and get really excited for it, and I remember people already having like full-coded heroes, like all decked out, ready to go with their cards, and they applied them to, which is also so weird because you didn't need any of that shit in the old video games, man. I don't know why companies decide to do that. It's so weird. I mean, we all know why, but the whole thing was just against what the old video games were. You didn't need all these power-ups, you didn't need all these cards, you didn't need loot boxes. You just pick your character and go and have fun, whatever map that they're on. But even with all of that craziness, Battlefront 2 probably has the greatest comeback story of all time in Star Wars video games. A game that was released, crucified, made an example of in the entire gaming community, and then they fought back. In a live service era, like where a game is created, a very small portion of this game is created and pushed out to the public, and where they feed up into it and they add to it later. Sometimes, a lot of times, you know, it's paid DLC, so you have to buy $20, $13, $15 to add more of the game until you finally have the incomplete version of the game, which, you know, in the old days you used to pay $60 for or $50 for, but now, you know, it's not really the same. That's not really happening these days. Everything is kind of pay for more, right? But this game, Battlefront 2, gave you so much free content over the years. It is incredibly hard, especially with a Star Wars fan base, to make a game like that get absolutely ridiculed and destroyed online with all of your media and promotion, but then find a way to reclaim your spot in the fandom, to have people defend you and still hold on to that passionate fan base that wants to play every single day. Players today, to this day, still play Battlefront 2. There is a giant community that mods on PC, they have fun, they're always trying trying to find people to play with. And it is so commendable that these people are so into it and so passionate about this game. Every time I'm on TikTok or YouTube, I always see people trying to max level these characters for lightsabers and Anakin Skywalker and Rey and Darth Vader, all these insane characters. And it's so much respect inside the game. There's like these unspoken rules where it's courtesy slashing and you have to wait and let the 1v1 happen as these heroes play each other with lightsabers, man. That is the magic. That is the magic that Battlefront brings. And this is the point of this video, is talking about a potential Battlefront 3. Now, a tweet had come out from one of the ex-devs or someone that used to work on the game. I think his name is Michael. And he was talking about how close this game, how close Battlefront 3 was being to complete before it was ultimately canceled. If this game is as completed as they say, I mean, there is not much more work to do from what I'm getting from this post, and it started a ruckus. And that's why I'm talking about this in the video today, because Battlefront is an important franchise. Battlefront is one of the main gaming franchises in Star Wars. You don't get a lot of that. Let me make you understand this if you don't play video games, okay? There are so many elements and layers to Star Wars. Space battles, the Force, global conquest, things like that, factions of, the Clone Wars and the Republic and Clankers and the Sith and the Empire and the Rebellion, everything. There are so many components to what a Star War actually is. And Battlefront does that. It takes everything. You have your giant space battles, galactic conquest, which was so cool. We haven't got to see that since one of the older games, and I hope we get it one day. Basically, it's like you're on your planet and you're conquesting. You're conquering the entire galaxy, and whether you're an Empire or the Republic, whatever faction you want to play as, that's what you're doing. You're conquering to make sure all those planets are your color with your flag and your insignia. And then you have the actual fighting, the gameplay. Everyone's got a sniper, everyone's healing, everyone's doing something. And then of course you have the actual battle stuff, the vehicular stuff with all the tanks and the starfighters. And in that layer you also got the Empire versus the Rebellion, the Separatists versus the Republic, the Resistance versus the First Order. Any era you can go to and pick. Any planet that was ever in Star Wars that had a battle, you can do it. You can go in. Of course, the modern day games don't do as good as a job as they should with that. But that's the thing about Battlefront, is that you have to take every single layer of an arc, every single layer of this timeline, and make it into a video game. And then you have to take the heroes that were prominent in that era, every single Jedi, and it wasn't just the main Jedi like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin, it was every single Jedi in the Clone Wars. Mace Windu, Aayla Secura, Yoda. I'm talking about everybody on the console. Depa Blah, dude, we are going ham, I want to see more of that. But I also would like to see, if this ever happens in Battlefront 3, whenever it does come out, because I believe it will come out, I would love to see stuff that we've never seen before, especially with heroes, Ahsoka and Mandalorian, Asajj Ventress, Bo-Katan, Moff Gideon, but also give me other stuff like Snoke, or maybe comic book characters like Dr. Aphra. I cannot stop talking about a potential Battlefront 3, and I hope that you, the community, continues to wave that flag. Make this happen. Go out there, continue talking, don't harass anybody, but just be excited. There are people that want this game. There are devs that want this game. I really feel like they stopped this hype train as soon as it was just getting started. And it's sad to see that because, at the end of the day, this stuff is always about money. But even Battlefront 2, that was giving out so much free content and also found a way to sell 10 million copies, even during that time of scrutiny. I mean, that is magic. That does not happen. I think it's one of the most selling recent Star Wars games in history. So it's up there with like Lego Star Wars and a couple others. So, I mean, if you're out there, devs and the community and everyone in the comments, go out there. Do you want a new Battlefront 3 game? Hell yeah, I do. Who do you want? What are the heroes you like to see? Or maybe there's some brand new game mode that you're thinking about. Let me hear it in the comment section, fam, because at the end of the day, this is a Star Wars channel, and that's what we talk about, baby. I hope to hear you. I hope to see all your comments, fam, and I hope we finally get Battlefront 3 in the very near future. I'll see you around, fam. Make sure you subscribe. I'm putting up pictures. That's why my wall is so blank. And anyway, I'll see you around, all right? Deuces.